All right, thanks for coming by, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Sorry for a bit of a late start. I'm doing a bit of a restart on some of my software here just to make sure things aren't acting all choppy. Things seem to be going pretty good now. But we are going to finish up the second part of the third trial. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to getting through the entire first half of this game, because it's the second game that I'm really looking forward to. That's the blind one. We had a lot of viewers, surprisingly, on the first half of this trial, the second most viewed video on the channel so far. Don't know why, but we are going to see what happens this time here. I'm just in the process of finishing up, fiddling with everything. Apparently you guys are going to be experiencing some buffering. I'm not sure why it's not getting enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It seems to be going okay. The playback is looking pretty choppy too. Hang on. Alright, I may have to restart this. I'll be right back. Okay, I think we may get it sorted here. The video looks a lot better on the playback now. I think we're all right. Okay. I could have just lived with it, but obviously I want to fix it before we get into the game proper. So let's go ahead and get into the game proper. Without further ado, I am excited to finish this up. I'm excited to get through this as much as I can. I want to see what is going to happen next. Let's bring up that sweet, sweet audio. All right. And here we go, folks. I think we are set. Everything is aligned. Everything is looking good. The playback is looking smooth. I am a happy camper. Time to get into this. So, last time we got smoked out of the courtroom. Not sure why yet. Wonder what's going on there. Let's find out. What on earth just happened in there? Naruto-san! I managed to find out what happened. Well, that was quick. Miss Suzuto, I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? That sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. It was just smoke after all. But what would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of about 15, I hear. A young girl? Then, could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Surprise, surprise. Things are looking good on the playback here. Alright, I think we're set. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There's so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Oh, yeah, that still hasn't really been fully resolved. I guess the guy, Beppo, says he took extra, but I'm not sure that's sufficient. I was curious if they were going to follow up on that. According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defence, kindly proceed to the courtroom. The trial will commence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of this trial. We'll know soon enough, Miss Suzuto-san. Yes! Yes, I'm so happy. Yes! Back in the Old Bailey. And there we have them. Sup, dude? Oh, hello. New character. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zieks. My lord, I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. Why would she need to? It's not like anybody was looking for her and knew what she looked like. That is not a suitable explanation. And now occupies the stand. Jojo Pose. Your name, girl? My name is Jojo Pose. Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded. I think perhaps I ought to explain here why it is that the wee lass here was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. 'Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in this case. Ho, ho, ho. Just what did happen that night? This is some crazy stuff. It's not like a defense lawyer with a C needs that information or anything. I'll just bluff my way through. Just this one time. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. God, this guy's mannerisms. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless me soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. I remain somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather, on the night in question, This young girl was indeed riding on the omnibus, is that correct? 'Tis exactly as the defence counsel said. The lass was the fifth passenger, my lord. I'm still hunched over. Like, I am so done with all of this. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. No, I like everything he said. We can stick with it. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Just accept everything he said. I think Zeke's is waiting for us to do something, because I don't see a problem here yet. I need to review this. I need to pay attention to one part. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra, a loud sudden wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless me soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. So, again, not remembering a whole lot about this case, the reason he turned around and saw her was because she was actually hiding under his seat. So the seats, I believe, lift up and there's a space under there. So he was sitting across from the dude. And when he got up and turned around, she was in the seat that he was sitting on. And I guess maybe there's a screen in the seat that she can see through? I can't actually remember. We'll see the omnibus again in a bit, I'm sure. Being the defense's lawyer, and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at his testimony. But it's good testimony. We like it. We like it when our defendant is just like, oh, here's what happened and I'm innocent, so there. We must just try to learn all the facts we can. We should just say, like, what do we need to object to? Van Zeke should be cross-examining him. I don't give a shit. No grumbling, even in your head. I love her expressions, too. The animations of this game are just great all around. On the night in question, and also I don't want to disprove this guy. I don't want to object to anything he says. This seems perfectly reasonable to me. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were. I see. Aye, and that's why I took the back seat as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you meant by the back seat? By all means. 'Tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable, and where I feel most at ease. Yeah, you get to face forward that way. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. You're just waiting. He's just being patient. He's like a lion waiting to spring on me. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. Hold it! A loud thud, you say, and a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed? Well, now, you recall I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me up and opened my eyes, well, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor. You didn't see anyone, but at the same time you did hear a scream. Oh, I think I know where this is going, maybe, possibly. I'm not sure yet. Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume. Oh, that's who screamed, not what's-her-face in the seat. Oh, no, wait, no, I was right. Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes. My Jacksepticeye's. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Whoops. Back that up. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember which ones I'd pressed. Hold it! You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. Yeah, I'm not sure there's a common courtesy about the public handling dead bodies. Ara, Lord Van Zeeks. Now why would that be? You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Oh, you cut me. Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant fees of interest, or rates of interest. Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, whenever at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no! I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and whereabouts first. The whys and wherefores, I seen. The whys and wherefores. Right you are. There was some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. The wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yeah, the scream he said he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. The one we're going to talk about now. Then I turned out to find out where the scream was coming from. And bless me soul, what did I find? I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. My butt was screaming its head off. Good gracious. Under your backside. And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage. Now, Hoda-san, we could examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course, the whole bus was submitted as evidence. It's sitting over there. That'll be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. And that's when I found her. There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Okay, before we do a whole lot here, let's take a quick looky-see. We've looked at this before. Let's open the door and go inside, shall we? Again. Now, for those of you who remember when I inspected it last time, boy, there's a something's different here. Something's changed about these. Okay, so there is no screen. It's just a seat. Did I open this before? I can't remember. I think I did. Seated here. Yeah, we had that same talk. What about the handle? I can't remember if we looked in here last stream, but yeah, this is the cubby hole. Storage compartment, and it's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Alright, well, we've inspected it. I don't think there's anything really else to focus on right now. Let's carry on here.
Hold it!
Last press. You say she was hiding herself. Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, my heart nearly stopped beating in my chest. You're really overacting this. I'm doing my best Jacksepticeye impression. How am I doing? Still in all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her in the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the gentleman there. You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. She could have talked at some point. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fella's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Him or fair play. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded, which was what we were postulating. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason. Caffeinated beverage break. Stay hydrated. Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage at a sight. Did you see me glow pop? I didn't think so. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature. Oh, thanks for that, asshole. And readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl. After that, of course. With the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. Thank you, I've heard enough. Yep, we win, right? Quick stream. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. I know a few things that are going to come up, but I'm not sure how much of a stream it's going to fill. This might be a short one, guys. Who is the girl who has not said a damn word? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. Earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What? This girl here, a petty thief? I'm not sure how I'm going to do Gina's voice. I like Gina, though. She's fun later on. I believe she's in the second game, too. I'm not sure, though. I think so. Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Don't threaten someone with a smoke grenade. How dare you? What is the meaning of this? She's gone! Worst magic trick ever. Open your eyes. I'm over here. See, I was saying before I gotta come up with some better English accents because Sherlock's was a little too guttural and cockney, but I'm gonna need that guttural and cockney for some people like Gina. Plus it's a girl now, so this will be interesting. How did I even do Sherlock? I gotta do that, but make it more like Pavlova, where it's lighter. Let's see. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. We'll see. What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you're lot of thinking. I know what you're lot of thinking. Let's see. I know what you lot are thinking. I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it? No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast. Smoke for you too. You get the smelly stuff. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs. I stole that, don't count. Oh, this? Yeah, this was in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, innit? I like the pink best. Do not wave that thing in my direction again. The problem is when I do English and light, it just comes out as McGilded again, so... So, you admit that you are riding the omnibus on the night in question. "'Tis alright, lass. You can tell him the truth now." Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. Oh, he is Irish. Okay. I was assuming that at this point, but this is the first time they said it explicitly, I think. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. All right, if I have to. So I snuck onto the carriage before they looked up the horses, just like always. I was wondering how she got in there without paying. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. Nah, it's still leaning Irish. Huh. I don't know. I think I lost Holmes's accent. I'll have to figure it out later. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I heard this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of that, this swell found me. He nearly let me get away, mind. Yeah, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGill did. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. He was sitting on her. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. Oh, we're just going to go in here anyway, fine. This is where I was sat that night. And the cubby hole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume? So what did she see? She couldn't see things and scream because there's no way to look out. Or maybe she peeked out while he sat up. Or maybe she mentioned that in her testimony and I just missed it. Yes, it appears just large enough to accommodate someone of this girl's stature. Aye, but of course the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I'd perked myself on the seat for the duration. Ah, so you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined, when all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your actions would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of the less fortunate lass. My goodness, I have a feeling this guy's just full of crap. What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. Yeah, I found Holmes again. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. I don't kid. I mean, we're going hard white. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time, even though I was wrong last time. That's it. Trial's over. 40-minute stream. Kiss my butt, Van Zeeks. Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty? Naruhodo-san, this... Well, it must mean... It must mean what? That we're victorious! Yeah, we've just really started this part, Suzuto. We've won? Are you sure?
Objection.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's the foot. If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray, do forgive the discourtesy. Yeah. I do see a few problems here, and I think Van Zeeks was just biting his tongue, waiting for a chance to pop off on him. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. Namely that the jury are all morons. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean its true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. Yeah, this is one point. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilden's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. Did we actually look under the seat last time? I can't remember if we could lift it up. I have to go back and check the VOD. Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, counsel? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend? Huh? What? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be? Uh-oh, he's calling me out on what I did last stream. I don't remember. Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman would be able to clear this up in a jiffy. What? Go ahead. You tell the courtroom now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? Now I'm tempted to go back and look. Hang on a second. Just for kicks and giggles, how quickly can I look that up? I'm on my stream now. Oh, there we go. I lucked out. I'm looking around. I'm poking at the seat. Boy, that seat looks hard or soft, but it's actually hard when you sit on it. Let me double this sucker up. Alright, they're talking about how women can't sit there, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Oh, I didn't actually open it. Ah, I just examined the seat itself. I didn't examine the handle. I didn't go that far because I knew it wasn't relevant at the time. I didn't realize it was going to call me out in the second one. Alright, alright, well, let's go here. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on the matter? I didn't check. I'll be honest, I didn't look. How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat of the omnibus? Ah, I didn't look. I didn't look. I'm looking and I didn't look. I didn't look. I'm going to answer honestly. I didn't look. I didn't look. I didn't look. Sorry, I'm a failure. I didn't look. Technically, I didn't have to examine the omnibus at all. I just did because I knew there were things that were going to be a problem. I didn't realize the game called you out on it. Damn. Why didn't I examine the omnibus more closely? Maybe if I wasn't streaming. Perhaps I credited you with too much intelligence. It seems, my lord, that this Eastern initiate is as unreliable as wine from the barrel. Look, it wasn't imperative at the time. I didn't have to. Naruhodo-san. Oh, well now. It would seem the argument is moot. And the truth of the matter is there for you all to see after all. Now I'm wondering what happened if I actually examined it. Now you got me curious. Damn it. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Sup, Zeekers? Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. I mean, the only evidence we got is the evidence we got. Oh yeah, he would know what's supposed to be in there, though. That compartment's designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. Oh, here we go with this. I don't think the jury's going to reach consensus on this one, though. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. Stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick. Of course it's a trick. But now emotion is okay, right, Zeeks? Quite so. I must concur here. You were so certain like 3 minutes ago. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time, except I keep coming to a different conclusion every time. Yeah, exactly. See, Naruhodo and me, we got this. We know what's up. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Is that the right word to use there? Oh, I see, just pointing attention to them. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. He didn't want to win that one. He just wanted to balance them out so he could keep going. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Oh yeah, I forgot that even happened. That was like 10 minutes ago. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? What is going on? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Alright. So I snuck inside the carriage before they locked up the horses, just like always. Let's zoom through here. It was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I tell you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while I heard this loud bang. It nearly jumped out my skin, it did. And the scream just came out. Oh, that's why she screamed, not because of what she saw, what she heard. It's because of that this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the verdict we want. Yeah, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling something's bothering me, but I just can't put my finger on it. I know one thing that might be bothering him, but I'm still not sure it's what he has in mind. Let's press her. So I snuck inside the carriage before they locked up the horses, just like always. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? Oh yeah, I got my little push back and forth thing here. I didn't even see that before. Maybe it just doesn't come up if there's not an option for it. Which means there's probably going to be an option for it. Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a joy to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, innit? I suppose she means there's no point spending money to make money, which actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding for free. The red conk of a driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's when I slipped into the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach, no? Yeah, explain that. Or not. Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue. Just he said, she said. But it was alright, all waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night.
Hold it!
A waste of time? Why's that? Well, most nights I'm off me own in the God permit at least some of the time. I beg your pardon? Did you say God permit? Ah, yeah, well that's what we can call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away? That's it, only that night. This cove was sat on my seat from the start, and he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosing cabin? Yeah. Right, mister? To be sure, to be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. I tell you, you can't see... Oh, I tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Whoops.
Hold it!
I think I see a solution to all this, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take us to get there. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cover up with my head and look out the crack. Then I can have a butcher's at who's gone fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I got under ain't as plush as the other ones, see. So most of the time the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spends the whole journey right over me head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out, I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feel too much like being thrown in the clink. But it's the only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Obson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I say there's some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to just stick it up under there. Nothing else for it. Then after a while I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin, it did, and the scream just came out.
Hold it!
When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily? That's right. And then I felt the cushion over me head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes. Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. What? I pushed up the cushion and had a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up the bloke what had fallen on the floor in the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilden's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turned around and looked right at me. I snuck back down again, but it was too late by then. I should never have risked looking. It's because of that this swell found me. He didn't let me get away, mind.
Hold it!
And when Mr. McGilden discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place. I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me up and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit, and we ended up falling onto me. How awful. Both my hands got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilded for a while. Is that correct? Yeah, asked me some stuff. Wanted to know me name and what I was up to and all that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one seeing my face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this wee Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you get away later." Well, there had to have been space under there in order for her to hide afterwards, right? So that kind of proves that, doesn't it? Maybe? All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. Oh, we're back here. Okay. So I need to disprove something. I pressed everything. No new testimony. All right, let's review. So I snuck into the carriage before they What do we got to play with here? That's not really going to matter, I don't think. I don't think that's important. This is just his gloves. She said both her heads were stained, so that lines up. I don't want to present. I don't want to spend too much time in here if I don't have to, because there's a lot of talking. What about the knife? We didn't really look this over too much. Again, that could be an M, that could be a W. This part's the sheath. Are you alright? Sorry, yes, I just don't really like blades. Can we take it off? Yeah, let's see that. Well, surely the blood looks out of place. That looks a lot like blood. There's a reason for that. It surely is blood, the victims. Yeah. No, nothing useful. Wonder about this. We're gonna have a comment on that. Ah. Okay. Oh, it's a turnabout case, is it? Oh, you're just gonna tell me off straight away, are you? I don't know. It could pass for a W, but it does kind of resemble an M, and I don't think we have any W's in the cast here. I don't get to switch to people. So Bruce Fairplay. The other guy was called like Ladies First or something. So it's not him. It wouldn't be Beppo because he was busy. There's no W in Gina Lestrade, so it probably is an M. Huh. So I snuck into the carriage before they looked up into the horses, just like always. It was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I don't think we can really contradict that. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitching there. Probably true. Then after a while I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped up me skin I did, and the scream just came out. It's because of that the swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. I'm not seeing a contradiction here. Is there something in here? What about this? Most of this is skippable at this point. I guess. Now, what about the blood on the floor? Because I was joking around earlier when I was examining the carriage last stream. We didn't open the seat. We didn't look in the compartment. We didn't see if it was empty. But we did see the floor. This was not here during part 1. I wonder if this will bring up anything new. That's blood, isn't it? Something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this blood stain is so obvious, that's all. And yet Van Zieks has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Why? Why indeed? That didn't change my actual anything, though. Crystal Tower. None of this changed any of the evidence. What about the Skylight? Yeah, you can see up, and I already spammed through that. What if we go back in here and look at the Skylight? Can we do that? We're just crawling all over the omnibus again. Yeah, I haven't actually looked up yet. What about this? Quite a large skylight, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description, so I suppose it can only be opened from inside the cabin. It can't be opened from the inside. If what I'm thinking matters, then that might be important. Can I examine the latch here? Nope. I have a funny feeling I'm going to have to present this, but I don't know when and where and why. I'm a little bit stumped on this one. So I snuck into the carriage before they locked up the horses. Just like always. Fair enough. Right, all waste of time, nothing to show for me troubles. I tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Should be true. There was a lamp in the actual cabin, but there's nowhere that would shine into the actual seat. I feel like we might press that. He did help me get away, mind. I hear this loud bang, nearly jumped out of my skin. Was there a... Hang on a second. Was there a loud bang? Maybe that's not it. Is there any evidence that he didn't fall over? This wouldn't matter. After a while, I hear this loud bang. It nearly jumped out my skin, I did. No mention of a fall, but I'm not sure if that's quite right. I may have to take some hits on this. I may have to take some hits on the life meter. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do here. But that seems like a likely press. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be true. Nothing here. I don't think we have anything that disproves this. No problems with that. It's because of that this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. I don't know. I feel like it's something to do with this because there's no evidence of a bang or falling over or whatever. Cause of death is internal hemorrhaging. Single stab wound. No mention of a fall, though. Maybe they just weren't that detailed in their autopsies back then. Was it? It's got to be one of the two. It's got to be the autopsy or this. And I'm not sure what we're actually trying to disprove here. Okay, let's let go of the light for a minute. I'm going to say it's the autopsy report on this because there's no evidence given that he actually fell or there was any bang. I wish there was some sort of eyewitness report testimony that we could examine or something. I'm pretty sure we pressed everything. Alright, I'm going to Hail Mary on this. Let's see what happens. Whoops, that's not how you Hail Mary.
Objection.
And that's a fail. The witness's last statement is clearly at odds with this piece of evidence. It totally is not, and I'm screwed. I lose a life. I lose a health. I lose a bar. I fail to see the connection. Oh. And for heaven's sake, would you kindly desist from that wide-eyed, panic-stricken look you are wont to wear? But it's the only panic-stricken look I know. That's not true. Alright, maybe the omnibus on this.
Objection.
No! Clearly something odd. There is clearly something odd here. Your ass. Huh. So do I... Did I not press everything? I'm pretty sure I pressed everything. Let me double check this. He pulled you up from your hiding place. Yes, you did. Alright, well, I'm able to skip over this, so we definitely went through it. Alright. All 6 members. Something's bothering me. The blood is bothering me. And again, Zeke should know about it. You can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. I can't disagree with that. He did help me get away, mind. Is there a reason why he wouldn't have, or evidence that he wouldn't have? Huh. I don't have more than this. This is all I got. I'm surprised. Whoops. So I did press this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it maybe jump. I'm looking for a clue here. I'm surprised that bit doesn't get added as testimony. But then he turned around and looked at me. Can't see a thing in there. Yeah, having a butcher is it who you're gonna fiddle. Oh, I was about to say I wasn't able to skip that text. What the dicks? Why is this coming up now?
Excuse me.
What triggered that? It must have been one of the other texts I did. Just having a quick snack. Oh, I do apologise. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. Something you could have mentioned earlier before I lost 2 life. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no, it was nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathise. I'm still scared of the dark now. Why are we talking about this? Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Am I leading the witness? Am I going to remember hearing something else? Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe. Miss Lestrade, did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. But jabbers, there's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp. What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Yeah, what should we make of that last statement of hers? Didn't hear anything. I just finished going over the evidence. I'm just thinking to myself, was there some reason? Unusual noise. Not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. I mean, aside from the bang, which I assume she's still testifying to is the case. I'm going to go with it's profoundly important just because I'm trying to play meta here. Oh, we got a loud slam. That was probably right. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important, but all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is the profoundly important part. I'm almost sure of it. I'm not sure where he's going with this. I'm not sure what evidence we have. I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Kind of racist, nevertheless. Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please. What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me. That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move. What is this statement? I was straining my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring. His original testimony was that he was sleeping, so this follows. Nothing here. Was it that he couldn't hear the other guy getting on? That he didn't hear the door opening and shutting? Did this replace a statement? No, it's a new one. Oh, we can press it. Let's do that.
Hold it!
Before we get too far out of ourselves here. So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hid yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butcher's to see what was what. I love having a butcher's, I say it all the time. But then when I saw this swell getting on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me. And Mr. McGill had sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah, would you Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug. So then all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out there as soon as I heard him leave, see. But would he? Not likely. Even though we stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. Ah, see, that's what I'm curious about. She didn't hear the door open for the dude. And again, I feel like this is leading somewhere, but I'm not really sure how this functions. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market, snoring like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? Well, yeah, we didn't hear Mason get on. Miss Lestrade, what you've just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Huh? At odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. Yeah, I feel like he already knows what the problems are here, but of course he's just waiting for his chance to pounce. Or see what we're going to do. But again, I'm not too sure where this is going entirely. So Van Zieks realized it too. Counsel! I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGildett's snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think! There's something else she should have heard. Let's try this. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate on a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. I mean, the fact that he got on, right? I'm guessing. I mean, this is the obvious answer. I just hope that the game cooperates in understanding what I'm saying and doesn't just knock a life off because I'm not doing it perfectly right. Thrice fired Mason. Okay, it looks like I got it right. Yes, my lord, the sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Order, order. Explain your reasoning, counsel. It's pretty self-explanatory, Judge. Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person aboard the omnibus was Mr. McGilded. That it was. Not a soul in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at the time. Did I not just say as much? I wasn't travelling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, weren't it? Waiting for this swell to leave. So she was listening for it. Okay, fair enough. In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? Ah! We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Zieks. Yeah, he knew. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Mr. Lestrade's statement. Of course, if it was that important, she could have just lied and said, oh yeah, I heard him get on, because it's not like she's hiding anything by not saying that. Or is she? It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. I don't know. If she were lying, that seems like a pretty dumb lie or thing to get caught on. How could the victim possibly have not boarded the omnibus? That makes no sense. And this girl's a pickpocket. Let's not forget that. Uh-oh. Sudoku time. Don't make me play the minigame again. I think I'm going to have to play the minigame again. She didn't even say anything. I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she has some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars. And neither can I. Mr. Foreman, I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has some less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars. Not Miss Maid, not you too. Don't do it, don't do it. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning toward guilty. Juror number 2. Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing. Ah, what you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Abaddon? Oh, this is carnage. It's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left. Naruhodo-san, the way this is going, I know, if we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGilded's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll have lost. I very much wanted to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Oh, yeah, spare me the minigame. Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case. What are you saying? Counsel! I'm sorry, sir? Whatever do you mean? Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. Bluff my ass off. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. I mean, there's an obvious answer here, guys. Come on, work with me here. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? I expected someone to joke about him falling from the sky and then just being like, you know, there's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. There's another entrance. He was put there after he died. I think they're going to want me to say this. Yep. If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way. I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The others have only windows. Fixed windows, which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door. You're all big dummies. But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allows the victims to appear inside the enclosed cabin. You could have said it ages ago. All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus on which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin? Kinda obvious. I can't just double-click. The answer is obvious. It can only have been the Skylight. I say, the Skylight?
Objection!
And then the bloodstain on the floor is going to come up. Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words.
Objection.
However, The skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection.
So you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory? Both Mr. McGilded and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor. Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with the dagger. Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses described? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A loud noise, a noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact. Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection.
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight onto the cabin? That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, these guys didn't mention him coming into the cabin, and you were fine with that, asshole. Well, yeah, that's true, but what if they did it? Might a humble fella make a wee comment here. Mr. McGilded? To be sure now, the two fellows who were sat on the roof that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but... Aye. 'Tis a case of them being unable to say. What? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to be mentioning what happened. Would you not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Huh? Oh my goodness, surely not. Those two chaps on the roof? Just typing away. You mean the ones who stuck that knife in the man were... Huh? She's just typing like a madwoman. Oh, they were fast to come up and defend themselves. Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer? Oh, there's an interesting animation. You rotter, he said. You rotter. What are you insinuating? This is a flaming outrage. I got a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute. He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I. Mr. Fairplay, you've effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker, and me, a very angry hatter, suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right, I protest too. About you rotten scoundrel. I'm just going to do my horse impression right in your face. What do you think of that? My boxing stance, does it not intimidate you? Gina's like, get me the hell away from those guys. I'm standing over here now. Order. This is not the time. Witnesses, I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once. I don't know, I feel like this is something they should be talking about. But this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My feelings are hurt. My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zieks. That's not your accent. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and have accused the witnesses without proof. Hey, I'm just postulating the possibilities here, man. It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. You proposed to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimidated You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British court of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. I know I was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get him to testify. Oh, I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. Uh-oh. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once. What's happening, Naruhodo-san? Crowd's going wild, man. Shit's getting crazy. The spectators in the public gallery they're in a complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay, Mr. First, my lord, you will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord. I didn't come here for this. You didn't? There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. I can't even remember what the actual facts of this case are, because this goes on, like, this gets largely unresolved for a while. I can't even... Yeah. This case goes bonkers. We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive, I can swear to it. If anything happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us knew the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it, even with my horse powers. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I have a feeling that's what we're going to be pressing, because I think I might know where it is. I must say that on listening to this testimony, it's somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith. What if they were in on it together? That's right, you see. We're innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What? Thank you for mentioning that. According to investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. Okay, well, do Gina and McGilded share common dealings? Because if they don't, then it's the exact same thing. Ah, well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really, so why do I feel so uneasy? Like I was saying, everything that's being said helps us. Just roll with it, man. I also noticed now, this is something I was curious about last time, because you can see the scales here. The scales actually stay the way the jurors put them, because they were balanced before, and now they're leaning black. I think the maid's the only holdout. So it's neat that it's reflected here. Just a reminder that maybe it's going in your favor, maybe it ain't, buddy. Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Yes, yes. Let's do it. Dude, I just want to point this out. The hats you make suck. Like, they can't even stay on your head. Seriously, what the hell? We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to it. If anything had happened when we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I wonder if these two men really were involved in some way. I couldn't say. I mean, I don't really know anything about them, do I? Although, by the same token, I don't really know anything about Mr. McGilded either, or Gina. It's so hard to know what to believe here. I think we should try to remember that it's evidence alone that can truly determine the outcome of a trial. Evidence. No one can argue against decisive evidence, including the members of the jury. So you're saying that what we need now is to find a conclusive piece of evidence. Yes, Naruhodo-san, precisely. Okay, can I inspect the thing now that I wanted to inspect earlier? Because I do think there's one thing that's heavily related to what's being talked about. But I couldn't actually look at it before. How well will you let me inspect the Skylight now? You can see it, you can open it, blah, blah, blah. That's not good for us. Is that the same thing? I want to actually open it, though. Alright, let's try going in here and opening it. Except I can't open it from the inside. Okay, that's probably not. I mean, we'll try it anyway, even though I shouldn't be able to. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. There doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description, so it can't be opened from in here. Nothing new. Am I sure? Oh, that's not a thing. That'll be the same. This is the roof deck. We've talked about the roof deck before. Is it going to let me open it later then? I don't know. Alright. Before I go wasting my health some more, let's start pressing.
Hold it!
So in no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck. Oh yeah, our slider thing. Now we got 4 people. Absolutely not. Dickin'. No question about it, he said. None at all. Oh, but yes, of course, I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking with this man here. Was that true, Mr. McGilvert? Dear me, my lord. At the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded inside almost immediately. That's an outright lie. Without doubt, you were engaged in... Let me stop you right there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? Ah, what evidence could I possibly have? 'Tis all about evidence in the court these days, so it is. You do well to remember that. Ah, I saw you with my own eyes. This is going so well. If anything had happened while we were sitting, do you think one or the other of us would have noticed?
Hold it!
Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark, perhaps too dark to see clearly. Is this some kind of a lark? Is this some kind of a joke, he said? Is that what this is? Why are you translating for him? Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly. Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you. Are you fair dinkum? Is that a thing English people say? You British guys gotta teach me all this newfangled slang. Or old-fangled slang, as it were. I'd give you the keys to the vault if you could fall asleep in the bitter cold. And if you didn't manage it, your eyes would freeze shut and you'd never open them again. That's extreme. It was extreme, I tell you, and we had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. They're all mad at him for shutting them out in the cold. Any true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. Oh well, if the door was locked, doesn't that back us up? I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. But you see, I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear you at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass. You were talking with someone. Now, 'twas a cold night, so it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. 'Tis hardly surprising. Seeing things? Seeing things? I'll have you seeing things. I believe we have reached an impasse here on this particular point. Ah, you! It's like we're playing Among Us here. It's just one person's word against another. I caught you doing this. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't take it personal now, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then it's only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about. This isn't a competition I should like to be involved in, really. In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. That is true in your case, although you had reason to frame Mr. McGilded. So you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before? Oh, lummy. No, not once, never. He'd never met the man before, he said. Never. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest. No, I imagine not. You see, how many times can I put this? Neither of us have the remotest connection to the gentleman who was inside the cabin, except all of a sudden Mr. McGilded started thinking of things, and now we're going to pursue it.
Excuse me.
Mr. McGilded? Yes, counsel. What can I be doing you for? Didn't the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection. Is that right now? I wonder. What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay. 'Has been too long, so it has. Eh? If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not? You're at a payment date. I beg your pardon. You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir. At an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? A sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fella to pass his crimes off on another? Arrgh! I mean, fair point, he's clearly an unbiased witness. Can't lie about that. And young Mr. First? Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do me making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about on your head. Is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still just an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gentleman walks through my door. This definitely isn't it. Ah, a perfect fit, is it? Well, 'tis a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers, such as Thrice-Fired Mason. Ah! Oh, is he wearing a similar hat? I was wondering about that. There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence before, my lord. Okay, it's not shown here, but I felt like it was kind of similar-y-ish. Maybe it isn't. We'll see. We'll see how that comes up. Oh, this you mean. Yeah, that. I can't help thinking that the poor fella's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh. Is that one of your hats? That's one of my hats. Question answered. Aye, that it is. So it would seem the brickmaker was a customer of yours. A sort of customer, I'd wager, you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. This really is an Among Us meeting. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. I was in electrical the whole time. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection with the victim, you see. I rest my case. You little weasel. Ah! He's better at this than I am. Yeah, he is. Gosh, Mr. McGilded has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Thorough in his BSing. Please, don't let me interrupt you and hold up the proceedings. The Skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. So that didn't really get us anything. It doesn't alter the testimony, did it? Neither of us knew the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. Alright, well, let's keep pressing and seeing what comes up, and we may have to double press just in case we get another little pursuant moment. But let's press this boy here.
Hold it!
Are you quite certain about that the Skylight was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said. That didn't help. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see? It's shut fast now, just like it was on that night. So it is. Of course, a fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break right through it, still and all. What? I'm just going to keep bullshitting. Just look at the size of the thing, you understand. Now you hold on there a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. I'm going to make fun of your accent now. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind. Loudly. I shocked myself with it as it happened. We needed to know this why? This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. Oh, I just meant to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the Skylight, you see. But it don't open from the inside. Just my luck. I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as rouge, I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, the Skylight can't be opened. I tried and tried when I was inside that cabin of shame. Aha! But you can open it from the outside. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So that proves it. We couldn't have kicked the victim down into the cabin before, I tell you. Neither of us could. Nobody mentioned anything about kicking anybody. Like I said, the details are little nuggets at best. It's the mother lode we should be looking for. Okay, I missed my pursuant, and I missed the whole testimony because I was clicking too fast. Alright, let's get back there. Speed chat, speed chat. And we're going to number 4. And we're pressing you. And we're getting back to Gina. I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He said he's going to lose his rag with you. I know what I said. Neither of you make sense. What? Alright, let's see. We're getting past the farting. That's the most compelling part of this case. Just pay attention to the farting. We're almost past the farting. Point is, Skylight can't be opened. I tried and tried.
That ain't.
Well, that ain't. Well, that ain't right.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Yeah, maybe I do and maybe I don't. Miss Lestrade. I made a noise. Quit coming at me. It opens. Huh? The Skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? Let me take a year to load this thing up. Sit tight, sit tight. All them Skylights open. Dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon. That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, I don't care about your fault. Stop talking about it. You can't do it from inside, you mug. Huh? Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. And I had a great haul. I mean, a purse is coming out of my ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Sort of. Anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All 4 of them surrounded me, so I couldn't opt off the bus and legged it. So what I did was I used the Skylight, opened the catch and jumped right on through. What? Yeah, the catch for them Skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin. The Skylight opens from the roof deck. Bailiff! Finally, we're going to open this thing up. I tried twice to do it myself. Come on. Climb up onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims. I want to climb the omnibus. It's my favorite thing. I do it all the time. Ah! Oh, my hat! See? You're all stupid. See? Order, order, order! So it appears that this street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens. And from the roof deck. Naruto-san, this could be the clue we are looking for. Yeah, I think there's something that's not being shown at that angle. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Give me like just a minute here. You better open, buddy. So the skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. Nifty. Nifty. Very nifty. Very neat. Very... Oh, hello. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. That's not what we need to be talking about. See quite clearly, that's not good for us. Oh, come the butts on. Are you joshing with me right now? No, that's not going to do it. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, let's try it from the inside. That's probably what they meant by saying we can open it now. Because you can open it probably from the inside if the latch is undone. But now, you better register. It does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Naruto-san. Why someone like me? Let's play Suzuto basketball. It's like Suzuto toss, but we're aiming for this big hole. Ah, what is it? Look, just here. Look at this. About effing time. That, without question, it's blood. Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? Alright, fair play. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Ask and you shall receive. Not even pressing you because I'm pretty sure this is 99% it.
Objection.
Yep, screw you. On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach, and immediately afterward, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts. Are they now? And the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. This stream's been almost 2 hours, but I feel like we've gotten almost nothing done. Minus the little technical difficulties at the beginning. Well, that's sort of humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof? Here? In this courtroom? Counsel. My lord, I believe everyone appreciated a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. Literally the thing I just clicked on. Let's drag it out. Let's drag it out. Let's drag it out. Let's drag it out.
Got it.
Got it. Boy, Jupiter, is that blood in all caps? Oh, I got the wrong one. This bloodstain proves two things. First, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And second, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my! And so it follows that Mr. Mason vented, that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. No! I mean, even if we're not sure of the facts, he's right. That does prove that, because if he was dead before he came in the cabin and we were in the cabin, then I was like, yeah, McGilded's free and clear.
Hold it!
Hold it! Who the hell was that? Oh. Butt! Look at my butt! But the blood could have sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. It only found its way to that one particular spot of the skylight. Sure, and wouldn't that be very convenient? And let's keep in mind that the Skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, look at his butt. There's no way to know for certain, is there? If the jet really fell through the Skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? Ah, now this is coming up. 'Tis all too plain if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so it is. What? No! But it can't be. It's all lies!
Hold it!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? Zeke's not going to like that. I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? Seeing that typewriter just reminds me that I need a new keyboard that doesn't make a ton of noise, because my keys are super loud and clacky, just like that. I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it. Oh, I always knew that the nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing. Never doubted for a moment. On three then, everyone. 1, 2. I assume Zeke's is going to interrupt us. Never mind. 3.
Objection!
Never mind, I was right. A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh, and what would you be referring to there now, Lord Van Zeeks? A bloodstain on the frame of the Skylight. Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? See, it's your own fault for bringing the carriage in here, because then people can meddle with it. You could have just had the examination at Scotland Yard, handed in the report, and been done with it, but no, you had to bring it here so people could mess with it. For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-toothed comb. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. We just messing with the evidence all over the place here. Are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that the stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session. During the smoke bomb, I'm guessing? Huh. What a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks. The fuck you say? But I'm Magnus Begilded, a fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. I always like the word dubious. Ever since Unicron found Megatron's bargaining posture highly dubious. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case that you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? It's like fake news. When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut tut, Lord Van Zeeks. This will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? Huh? No. I think it's fair to say, this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the Skylight didn't exist, you say? Pretty sure it's there. Pretty sure we can all look at it. But if you will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, Counsel? Oh, you're going to drag us into this. We're going to have to admit you could have done it with the smoke bomb. Gina could have done it. It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time that court's been in session, except for the part where it wasn't. My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. Ah, butts. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during the trial? If you're asking me, I think it could have been possible. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. I wonder what would happen if I'd have lied. I mean, it's not like Zeke's can't bring up the exact same thing and just be like, okay, smoke bomb, you're dumb. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Oh! Naruhodo, what the hell are you talking about? Shush! Good gracious! Explain yourself, Counsel. Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit? Yeah, he knows. Come on. I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. Which means she's in on it! Oh no! Bang! What's going on? Oh, this is that good shit. Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Naruhodo-san, cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. Apparently you did a terrible job. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, 360 no-scope! It could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Except they weren't stealing, they were putting something back in. Which is like the opposite of stealing, like anti-stealing. But still, wasn't my 360 no-scope cool? Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you? You rotten, feckless gouger! Feckless gouger? You're supposed to be defending me! 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies such as, to start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. Why did you bring this here and then leave it unattended? I'm sure this seems smart to you, but, you know. Plus, we were jungle gymming all over it. We could have done it. We planted the evidence while we were playing on it. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the Skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. We're going to talk about the blood on the floor? Because that's the part we did confirm. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the Skylight were shut. But the bloodstain... Accordingly, I'm afraid to say, we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. Much as the defense tried, but the game wouldn't let him, so damn. What do you think? Sorry? I wonder if it's going to call me out on noticing the bloodstain, and then I wonder what it would have done if I hadn't noticed it or hadn't gone out of my way to notice it. Because we didn't need to inspect the omnibus at all during the first half of this trial. I don't think. About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? I guess this is where I bring it up. I do have an inkling. I also have an idea. My lord. Yes, counsel. There is one further inconsistency. Would you stop talking? You're supposed to be defending me. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. Shut your damn pie hole! What? What the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, you better start watching your back. Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other, like a pendulum. Psy'Min loves those. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Yep, here we go. Where exactly is the alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial? This is the one we did confirm. Right the hell down here. Don't do that. Oh, it's just, well, this bloodstain is so obvious, that's all. And yet Van Ziek's made no mention of it. We saw this text already. Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
Got it!
If we considered that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Be quiet! I will throw money at you to shut your face! Good Lord. Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that at least there's a possibility that the evidence is fake. I admitted it. Yeah, I was about to say. He's about to go off his chain. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded, I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but 'tis all over now. But you're the defendant. 'Tis over, I tell ya. Huh? Memory, recollection, what people think they saw. 'Tis all a nonsense. Facts are what counts. And the fact is, that bloodstain is there. Now. Well, and over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out since been, I agree with you there, that good-for-nothing Reaper the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm calling you out. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Ziek's. Well, my lord, I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. And in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, because we can't reference the stream because this was before streaming and we can't just look at the video evidence like I did earlier, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious. Well, this means you win. Shut up, dude. Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position? The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded will be found nice. Yeah, which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Are you going to give me a choice on this? Seriously? Come on. Is it really all right for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies? Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please. Yes, my lord. The defense believes... I believe he could be. I believe he could be guilty, but I'm not sure we have a way to prove that. I think we have to say he's innocent for now. Because as he just said, there is no evidence. I mean, he could be guilty, but we can't do things. I don't know. Do I pick that he could be guilty for the lulz? I mean, the evidence, as it stands in the trial right now, says he's innocent. But there is a lot of room for error in those inconsistencies. And of course, if evidence is being fabricated, I mean, what does that tell us? I've still got 3 health left. I'm going to go with could be guilty, even though McGilda is going to hate my ass for it. I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence. What are you saying, man? Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. Yep. Which means he's innocent, as far as I'm concerned. However, there's also no conclusive evidence to prove that he's innocent. Good gracious me! I mean, I have to be honest. Order, order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused's innocence into question. Are you of sound mind? You asked me the question, you dipstick. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Well, he knows. Exactly. Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Ah. Your job here is done, fella, and some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? 'Tis just as the right honourable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial can't go on any more. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Not more than a formality. Oh, so it wouldn't matter what I picked. Alright, fair enough. I mean, all we need to do is prove that he, prove there was reasonable doubt. Innocent until proven guilty. We did our job. Dude's going nuts here. I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake? I don't know what the hell's going on. His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said. This is going to make an awesome mystery novel. The stake and rich are always guilty of something. Mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park. I think we're finally getting close to wrapping up here. Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea. Hell yeah. I thank you kindly, my lord. I'm a little calmer now. I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court. But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. Lord Van Zieks, my lord, the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. It was your idea to bring it in here. What the hell were you thinking? My sincerest apologies, my lord. But, wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zieks ordered the evidence to be secured. I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter. That occurred to me as well. He did go out of his way to say secure the omnibus. That's so unfair. The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Yeah, this game bucks a lot of the trends of the old Ace Attorney stuff, where you get clear endings, and the game is always, you know, trial tutorial, and then from the rest of the game it's investigation, trial, investigation, trial. Whereas this game is just trial, and then there was investigation with no trial. And here we jump straight into a trial and we don't even get a clear answer. Some things are just going to have to wait until the second game, because there's a lot I am wondering about myself. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. What? Oh, thank fuck. Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Do you mean to tell me that this all been a grand waste of time? 'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Don't tempt me, bitch. Magnus McGilded. Good grief! You have more to say to me, have you? Just one more thing. A warning. This is far from over. Peekaboo! Well, something to be looking forward to then. Ha ha ha! I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Santa Claus just declared the leprechaun nice. And we set off fireworks in the courtroom because we are England. We're still getting paid, right? I can't believe it. This is an outrage. They should have examined the evidence more. What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent. There's a panic in the courtroom. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict, and my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. Not sure how I feel about this. That certainly was a long trial. Yeah, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Miss Suzuto, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Oi, that you did. You can't all be Phoenix Wright and find the bad guy during the trial too. I mean, come on, that's just crazy talk. Mr. McGilded. Man, that girl is with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks that he'd be letting off when there's a verdict and not guilty. Kinda dangerous, but whatever. I'm sure you must have seen him now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yeah, definitely. I heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, wait. Did I... No, I was right. Alright. And then I'm just gonna laugh. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man, then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. What are you saying now? What are you implying? You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Waha, 'tis water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. This isn't anything like in the video games. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh, aye. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters in hands and sort out any wee details. Peekaboo. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. Wah-ha-ha-ha! Wario! It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly set that much, even though I don't actually know how much that is. Ara, be whist. You're a humble people, are you? You from the east. Well, if you insist. But have this, still and all. You deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again? Now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help whatever I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. I shall fade from existence. And there he goes. A free, transparent man. I was going to say, you're still here, right? Oh, I forgot she was here too. No, don't do it. Please don't. I'm asking you. Don't do the thing with the thing. Could you stop? Don't move! Took you like an hour to load that. Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I ain't all grown-ups. Ah, there you are. Is this the pink-haired girl who made the thing? Yep, her. Naughty, running off like that. Is this some kind of picnic? Why is this a picnic? Why say that? And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ha! Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Grenade launcher versus rocket launcher. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. The inventor? Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke at all, though? I just took my eyes off it for a moment while I was changing onto a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. What's it? I have no idea what she's talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly, to my technician. What? You mean, say sorry? You must say sorry for what you done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Do you listen to my rocket launcher? Come along then, follow me. I'll put a hole in you. Fine, have it your way. Oh, good. You see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. When I'm pointing a gun at you. I'm fairly sure that what she wants to do is not get shot by that massive gun of yours. Don't I look adorable with this? Could level a city block with it, I could. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. She was a lively one. I have a feeling we'll be wrapping up soon. One more thing we need to have happen, which is kind of neat. Well, what do you think? Perhaps we ought to be on our way now, too? Yeah, you're right, but where to? Oh, we haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry, though. I have a plan. If the worst comes to the worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not so sure about that. How old is Suzuto and this dude anyway? 16, I think. Oh, he's not in here. Oh, wow, she's actually younger than Gina. That dude's in here. I'm not in here. I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night would freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elder one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Aw, sad eyes. Don't do that. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room, or a mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over. Oh, what's going on?
What's going on?
Oh,
Brigade! Water! Bring water, quick!
uh-oh.
How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
Oh, snap.
No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
No one help or nothing. Oh.
This can't be.
Yeah, I can't do a voice like that. Hey there, Reaper. Someone's getting burned alive. Oh dear. What could possibly be happening? End. That's someone's end, that's for damn sure. End of Trial 3. Still can't say it's particularly satisfying because we have no idea what the hell is going on. But that will have to wait for another time. So we are going to go ahead and wrap up. Tomorrow is going to be the next hypnosis recording. It's going to be a follow-up to the last week's one, in fact. Wednesday, more Celeste. I want to finish that up. It seems like I'm about halfway through, judging by what I understand of the game. So that should be able to wrap up that day. And then we'll start something else next week. This will continue on Friday at the usual-ish time in the afternoon. I posted the schedule up on Twitter. I still haven't figured out how to post it on YouTube. I don't know why. Some people seem able to post pictures. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong, but whatever. In any case, we will be starting the 4th trial then. And on the weekend, we'll see what comes up. There might be another collab. We are probably almost certainly going to be playing Terraria again that evening. I do have some stuff coming up in the coming weeks that takes up some of my evening time. There's a regular networking event I do Monday evenings, which is probably going to interfere with the Great Ace Attorney. I'll find some other way to do it, because I definitely want to get through this game, partly because I love it and I want to see how it ends out. I also want to get it done as quickly as possible so we can move on to other things. For example, as October rolls around, I'd really like to be playing a few little horror games that I've got planned. But of course I need the time to be able to do them, so the less of this I have to play by then, the better. So we may even find a way to get this going 3 times a week, just so we can bust through it. At the same time, though, I want to have other things going, because I want people to know that we're not just an Ace Attorney channel. So this is the main series, this is the long play, but we will be finishing Celeste, we will be starting something else next week, and we may be doing some other stuff besides, just for the heck of it. So stick around for that. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps a lot, and it helps you to know what's coming up, because I always post the streams before they're happening. I don't really do a whole lot of guerrilla streams, although, you know, they'll happen from time to time. Of course, you being subscribed to the channel, you'll know about it. And keep an eye on Twitter as well, because I talk about what's coming up there too. Just make sure you follow. Again, it helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. It helps to support me, even if it's not just, you know, super chats or membership or whatever. Even just the liking, commenting, subscribing is great. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who does it. I appreciate you for doing it. And we will see you next time.